Hey, how you doing? Who doesn't like the Squirrel Buster? And who doesn't like the Cardinals singing? One of the most beautiful birds. In fact, it's on our label. It's on our merchandise. It's on our everything. We love the Cardinal, partially because my mother was super excited about the Cardinal. She was born in the early 1900s, and I would have loved to know, and I've done research a little bit about it over the past, but never really, gathered it all up. But over the last, say, 100 years, as an example, and we'll use that as an example with the Cardinal, they've transitioned, their historical range has expanded quite a bit into this area. And I think that when Mom was a young lady or a kid, they never had any cardinals around the farm, and then they started to see them, and then they started to hear them. Similarly to some of the species that we're seeing and hearing now that we never really saw or heard before. It's becoming quite exciting when you see birds of that nature. So that was, and the one call, particularly the male makes. I can remember as a young lad being around the house and around the yard and what have you, that when you'd hear that choo 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 sound like that, mother'd look and she'd say, he's going to say, pretty girl, pretty girl, pretty girl. Anyway, today we wanted to talk about the Squirrel Buster product. It's a Canadian company out of Knowlton, Quebec. They've been in business for many, many, many years. They've re-engineered these feeders over and over and over again to make them very, very successful and very, very high quality to eliminate the problems of people having with squirrels on their feeders and just eliminating all their seed. Some don't care, some doesn't matter, I get that, but so we're trying to offer up solutions for everybody here, and this Squirrel Buster product is a fantastic thing, particularly for the beginning birder. I really love it for the beginning birder and small yards as an example. So we can cater to, we have a lot of different models here. And we'll just tip this down just a little bit so we can get a look. See here? We have the different models here, as you can see. So Squirrel Buster Standard, they're all named. Of course, the Suet feeder, the Squirrel Buster Classic, the Squirrel Buster Legacy, and then the main one, the big boy, the Squirrel Buster Plus. I wanted to point out a whole bunch of different little features that I find very significant about the feeder that will help with you going forward and why it's so successful. First off, the mechanism itself. There's a warranty on the mechanism so that it'll continue to work, and if it doesn't work, you bring it to me. I'm a dealer here, and I do many repairs for people. That people have had feeders 8, 9, 10 years, and we're just then starting to interchange some parts and do some things. But they stand behind their product. We stand behind the product, and it's excellent. But I really just wanted to point out some of the resources that are available to you. So why are they successful with multiple species? So like the Cardinal, for instance, is a ground feeding bird by nature. It doesn't like to perch on a very, very small little perch. And I'll get one, I'll show you. Great feeder. I love this feeder. Lifetime warranty on the polycarbonate plastic. All metal food ports, metal top and bottom. Has a bridge in the middle that forces the feed to the outside. I can't say enough about this feeder. But see the perch? Cardinals aren't inclined to go to something like that. They want to be straight on because they feed from the ground. So they want their seed right in front of them. They can't figure out how to get on this and get turned sideways to be able to see the food. So not that they won't, but it's not in their nature to do so. So the nice part about these folks at Brome is that they have perches that are, one, very long, and then secondary, very wide. So see the width of that there? It's very long. So the ground feeding birds can perch this way and be straight at the food port. Works excellent. All metal cage. It's very strong. Has a great spring mechanism and stuff on the interior. Just a little depression on the lid. Quarter turn. Fill it up and fill the tube on the inside. Whoops, sorry, I got a little of the packing still in there. Just took this out to be able to show you. Anyway, how does this bust the squirrels, you're saying? Well, it's very simple. So this is the feeder. There's the food port. You can see the green metal hood in the inside. So you fill the polycarbonate tube that's on the inside. Bird gets on here, has its food, and goes to town. There's a lot of products out in the marketplace that the bird or the squirrel has to get to a particular position to be able to make the mechanism work. And they have some effectiveness, there's no doubt about it. But this doesn't matter. It does not matter where the squirrel gets on here. The cage closes. See that movement there? So there's the food port. Squirrel gets on. No more squirrel in your seed. Closes it. So okay, this is a hook that we got hanging from the shed or tree limb or whatever they want. Squirrel gets out onto here, goes down around, climbs down the cable, hits here, bang. Closes it as soon as he hits it. So it doesn't matter where he touches it, it closes, and he cannot get at the feed. So this is as I say, this is the classic. So there's a suet feeder, and then the classic, the legacy, and the plus. So the classic and the legacy hold the same volume of seed. They are about the same retail price. There's a couple of little differences. Obviously there's some engineering and model differences. You can see the difference in the two right there. The way you fill them is a little differency. So here we go with the little standard and sorry, I have the standard on the legacy box. My apologies. Hold on there. So the legacy is exactly the same as the standard, except it's about twice the size. So it holds the same volume, but it is the exact same design. So this little feeder is excellent. The legacy is excellent. Very, very nice. So again, you can see the big wide perches, very, very deep, very wide, accommodates the birds very well. And again, see the movement there? Doesn't matter. Here's the food port right here. So squirrel comes down this arm here, down, tree limb, wherever you have it, bang, closes. So we'll just show you something here. This is a little different, the way the standard and the legacy fill. Pop out the handle, pop out the tube, and you fill the tube in here. Here's the nice thing about, and the little difference with the legacy and the standard and the Squirrel Buster Plus. They all have some adjustments so that you can increase or decrease the amount of tension it takes to close the mechanism. It's not something you have to dial in. You don't have to work at it. You don't have to try to figure it out or anything. You take this thing home, take it out of the box, pour the seed in, hang it up, and start enjoying your birds. But you can see there's a plus and a minus on here. So the red stopper is your calibrator. It moves up and down. See how it's parallel with that green line right there? So the more I turn it one way, see how it's gone down past it already? So I'm turning to the plus. So that's putting more tension on the spring mechanism to make it harder to close. Going the opposite direction, bringing it back up, bringing it back up. See, we're almost, oh, there we go. We're just above it now. See? That makes it less. So we're minusing. We're taking away the pressure off of the spring, making it easier to close. The only example I always use is a gentleman a few years ago bought the Squirrel Buster Plus, lives over town here, and that very spring that he bought the feeder, he ended up with a family of baby red squirrels. The babies, for about 2 or 3 weeks, were light enough that they didn't close it. So he adjusted it so that it would shut and it would not be available, so the feed would be available for them. Excellent product, excellent construction. The nice part about this, the standard and the legacy. So the standard, we kind of talk about it as being great for the smaller yards, townhouses, garden homes, those kind of things. All the rest, they all can be used everywhere, but this is a nice size for a smaller yard. So you just pop the tube back in, you put your hanging little pin back on, and up you go and away you go. The nice part about these cage size, so this is a cage on here, and the food port is in here. So the nice part is the nuthatches and even chickadees and stuff will hang on here, go to the inside and get their seed, and away they go. Excellent product. Squirrel Buster Plus is an excellent product as well. Has a big ring around the bottom. That's actually called the cardinal ring, so that they can access the food on the inside. The suet feeder holds 2 cakes of seed of suet, one on either side. You put inside the yellow box there, inside there you put a cake in here and a cake on the other side. I turned it around. Cake on the other side, and it holds 2 suet cakes, and then that cage slides down over top of it. Excellent, excellent products. All of them are very high quality, work very well, and we're here to support you with your purchase if you decided that this was something that you were after. But really, I just wanted to talk about the solution that we have. We talked about the pole system the other day that we have that is fantastic to keep the critters off your bird feeders. This is also a fantastic resource to keep the critters off your feeders. Have yourself a fantastic day. Thanks for stopping by and listening to what I got to say. And we'll talk to you soon, real soon. But feel good, have fun, and be safe.